Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're going to take another look at KDA. By the way, hope you're having an amazing day. Just before we do, of course, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, kind of see what's going on with the big dog here, and we can tell it's doing pretty good. Actually, we take a quick look, we can see that we are back up over 67,000, dipped a little bit, actually came down to test 66,000 and bounce off. So that support level of 66,000, just as I expected, was reaffirmed because that was a previous high on the one-day close, and it just continued upwards from there. So I think we are off to greener pastures here for Bitcoin. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at KDA. Oh, and just before we do, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice by any means, but I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a better trader. I truly do love helping people become better financially. Okay, so if you would benefit from that, of course, check out my Telegram community. I actually have a Signal group / trading community that is actually a really awesome experience. It gives me the opportunity to be able to help you become better, and also I share all my trades with my members. So check that out in your own time. It's all fully automated through a one-click follow with a trading bot referred to as Cornix. So check that out, Cornix.io, pretty cool system. Now, looking at KDA, I wanted to have the TD sequential pulled up first because I want you to note that we are right at an 8. In other words, we've got 8 days of bullish momentum, right? Commonly, on the 9th day, that it'll reach its max, and it could potentially either retrace or consolidate. That doesn't mean much, honestly, with KDA. This thing has proven me wrong multiple times, but I can tell you that KDA, it's still a bit on the overextended side, even though it had a consolidation period here recently. It was very brief in the big picture. So just note that, keep that in the back of your mind. All right, so taking a look here, we got RSI right here at about 70, bounced off. That was just a couple days ago, and now it's on its way back up. So as I mentioned before, 70 on the RSI can work as a resistance or support. Same with 50 and 30, right? So right now, price being well above 70, you can see a little bounce, kind of keeps that continuation. Basically just means the bulls are still in control. That's awesome. So that gives us kind of a +1 for bulls and 0 for bears. So if we're looking here, we saw this, this descending wedge pattern that commonly breaks out to the upside. So, this basically does one of these and shoots on up. So it's basically fulfilled that perfectly, right? Because it had that strong consolidation followed by an increase. And at this point, we're seeing the price pretty much consolidate right around the major Fibonacci retracement lines. We'll take a closer look at that here in a moment, but we're above both moving averages. And we got, of course, a bullish convergence here, sometime yesterday afternoon. But RSI right about 70, kind of working as resistance here on the 4 hour. That's less relevant than the 1 hour, the 1 day chart, but still something to understand. Moving on to the 1 hour chart though, let's see here. This is where the magic is happening. We can see, yep, look at those support and resistance channels, almost perfect. And when I was looking at it yesterday too, last time I looked, I mentioned that you want to try to add to your position here at about 1775, just before it legs up. And sure enough, it jumped up about 5 strong green candles afterwards. So that's really cool to see that. Furthermore, let's see, let's go ahead and take a look at Ishimoku cloud. We're well above the cloud. You can see how it came down and bounced off the cloud right there at that support level, which is about $20.32. So just reaffirming the fact of the matter here is that the $2.32 is a strong support level. So what we could do, or what we could see, is the price, maybe eventually come here, leg up, and then consolidate, or just straight up break straight through that resistance level. Because right now it's getting close. It kind of almost got rejected out about $24, where it's trying to kind of break through, but it hasn't yet. So I'm confident we'll see an all-time high again, but it's just a matter of when, right? So TD sequential tells us we're at a 4 on this little continuation pattern, but as you can see, this is perfect. This happens all the time when you see the number 9. Right when the 9 hits, we got a period of consolidation shortly after, came down to a 7, reset back up to a 4. So we hypothetically, again, this isn't guaranteed, we have roughly maybe 5 hours left of continuation to the upside for KDA. So that could very well mean that the price will continue up to test this resistance level and then come down and just continue the same exact pattern that it's been doing every time, right? Comes up to a resistance, down to the secondary support, and then back up, right? So if that same sentiment continues, we'll come up here. It may even leg down all the way down to about 21.5 and then back on up for another all-time high. Okay, so that's a decent consideration. That very well could happen. Also note, let's take a look at the 1 day chart and kind of see where we're at actually with best case scenario. Because that's what I get this question a lot. Where is it going to be here in a day, in a week, etc. Well, there's no guarantees. KDA is pretty much just taking off. It's like almost a guarantee, right? For the most part, you just put your money in, watch it grow. It'll come down, it comes back up. But that being said, we got a resistance at about 25.50, right? So say it breaks that resistance, the likelihood of it getting up to about $38.52, I think, is fairly high. It'll probably pump up there again, but we want to keep in mind that, you know, healthy period of consolidation would be ideal. So if it can consolidate where it's at right now for another day or two, be excellent. So that way the next leg up can come quick without retracement after it gets to its goal, right? That's kind of the idea. But the key takeaway here is that, you know, the price action is definitely doing really well, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't continue upwards. But you just got to understand that this is a lot of growth in one day. We need some kind of cooling off period, for lack of better terms, before it legs up again. So some friendly advice here. You know, I like to give this advice just because I have a lot of patrons watching this, and you know, it's advice for anyone who wants to listen, of course. But in my experience, if you don't set targets before you take a trade, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Just holding on and hoping for the best is not the right strategy. At least if you're going to be a good trader. It's okay if you want to gamble, right? That's a different story. Expect to lose your money if that's the case. But I prefer not to lose money and take profits when I can. So my recommendation is to take profits just below the resistance levels, right? So for example, let's just go ahead and go with you know, an example here of, you know, the next Fibonacci line right above the resistance. So $28.25. It would be advantageous to consider adding basically setting a stop target or a sell target, of course, right at $28 instead of $28.25, because if the price comes up and hits that, you know, comes close but doesn't, then you can actually still take profits without actually getting to that specific goal. So in other words, just set your targets just below the Fibonacci retracement lines. Furthermore, ensure that you also set more than one target at a time, right? No, unfortunately, most exchanges don't offer this, so you might have to do a trading bot. 3 commas is fantastic. So is Cornix, of course, is what we use in our trading community, where, you know, I send out a signal. It has all 3 profit targets in place and a trailing stop loss. You want to have those things at all times, just to ensure you can secure your profits. You know, make sure your stop loss is a moving target, as well as the fact that your, you know, take profit targets, you're going to have at least 3. And those should be just below Fibonacci retracement lines, right, to help secure those profits. So again, these are all things that I teach in my community. So, you know, obviously, if you need a leg up, you want more, I don't know, I wouldn't say focus, but you need more foundation. I think it's helpful. A lot of people are building our portfolios rapidly, and it's a really cool experience to be part of. And what I'm excited about, super excited actually, isn't necessarily the bull market, or sorry, it's more so the bear market. And the reason why is because bear markets are much easier to anticipate. There's less volatility, more fear, and it's a lot easier to understand how to do that. So, you know, we're preparing for that as well, and it's going to be an easy, awesome experience when that happens. All right. Anyways, thanks so much for your time here. Yeah, for lack of better terms, one last thing here to note. I would say within the next 4 days, best case scenario, we're going to see 38.50. Okay, that's best case, in my personal opinion, just because it's taken 4 days for it to consolidate and to stay in the current range. In order for us to get that next leg up, we're going to see $38, I would say, within the next week or 3. Okay, so very conservative, I know, but that's how I prefer to do things. And I would say by month end, we should see $38, but for right now, you know, you should expect it to kind of consolidate a little bit, bounce off the support right around 21.50, and then leg up to its all-time high of 25.46. Thank you so much for joining me here. Have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.